Okay, it's time for today's CSS battle. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Okay. Can't quite do it as conic gradients. Could probably do it as 3 elements. Let's start off with 3 elements. So first off, whoop. How's that done that? Don't do that. Change this background actually to white still, but we'll do that. Then width to 300, height 20, background this color. Margin 30, 40. I think are we too long? We're too long. Number one, let's make that auto instead. Then make that 40. Then make its width 280, 270, 260. Perfect. Then do a box shadow. Actually, I'm going to set color to be this blue as well, because we will reuse that in a minute. 200, 200 pixels. Perfect. And we'll do a second P. This time around we're doing a width of 20 and a height of 150. And a margin of 0, minus 20, minus 30, 20 to 32, and a height of 160. And then for this box shadow, we're going to go 200 pixels across and 0. How about 300 pixels across and 0? That's good. Then we've only actually got the middle, which I think we'll actually do on the background of here instead. And we use a conic gradient. Make this top left. So how big is this? 170 to 230. So 60 by 60, I reckon. 60 pixels, 60 pixels. White, 75%, and then the blue. Then we move it into place by going 170 pixels across and 150 minus 30, 120 pixels down. And there we go. And there we have a 100% straight off minify unit replace. Now, is there another way we could do this? Possibly. Okay, let's start from a nested template. This time we will still change that white to FFF because it's shorter. We'll make this background, we'll leave it red temporarily with 30 margin, 30, 30. Just see how far off that is. Okay. So 40 and 40. What happens if we just do 40? That gets us all the way there. Then if we make this a conic gradient, 40 to 70, so 30 at 30 pixels, 20 pixels. Make the first color this for 25% and then transparent. I'm not sure why that has... Oh, because it's still too long. Okay, cool, 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 cool. How wide is this going to be? 40, 80, 320. 320 minus 30, 290 pixels. So let's do 0, 0, 290 pixels. That gets the top. And then 40, 80, 100 off of 300, 200 pixels high. Perfect. That gets us that top bar and that bottom bar. Then if we use another conic gradient, this time we do at 20 pixels in and 20 pixels up, maybe. Might be 30 pixels up. Let's just check. 260, 230, yeah, 30 pixels. This time round, we want transparent for 75%, and then the blue. What's that done? Broken things. Why is that broken? Oh, because there's a comma there that's really in space. Okay. Now we want to shift this down. So let's go 0, 30 pixels. And then give it a height. So we're just going 290 pixels because that seems about right. It's actually 300 by the looks of things. And 200 pixels. So now the problem is I've got this number wrong. And that should be 200. It's too much. How about 180? 170. 160. That should get us all that bit. And then we do one last conic gradient at 60 pixels. 60 pixels, transparent 75%, and then blue. Leave that, what, 100 pixels in and 100 pixels down. Right, that's not quite right. So 130, the 80, that should be that. I don't think we actually need that. Yes, we do, but not for the reason that we should do. We'll leave that like that, because otherwise everything gets shifted. hit submit to check that we're at 100%. We are indeed. Do minify, unit replace, and get rid of those two. Oh, only the last two characters. Stop being silly, site. Still slightly longer than our original solution. Is there anything else we could do? So you can't quite make this with one conic gradient. You can't make that and that with one conic gradient because that's square. What we could do is maybe so let's start with a nested template again. We'll change this to white again. Do margin of 40. And then we'll get rid of this background for now. We'll give it a border, solid, 20 pixels, this color. That'll get us most of the way there. We'll give this a background of a conic gradient. Of what? 60 pixels, 60 pixels. Transparent, 75%. And then the blue. Shift that 20 pixels. How about 100 pixels? Probably is. How about 110? And 70 pixels. How about 50? How close is that? We need to go down by 10. There we go. And then we've only got those corners that we need to get rid of. So how do we want to get rid of those corners? What happens if we do a start one after? Width 100%, head. We also need some content. Well, that didn't work. Where is that? Okay. Can't do that. But what we can do, we can't because we've used a border to do it. So we can't use background to overlay. So maybe one element. That's slightly problematic because I actually need it to go outside of those lines. Okay, I don't like that solution. So what happens if instead we decide to use a clip path? So what, minus 20 pixels. Let's go for a polygon. What happens if I go 0, 0, 50%, 100%, 0, 100%? I just want to check that it cuts that. It does indeed cut the. Okay, cool. So we want to be at 0 and 30 pixels down, then 30 pixels across, and 30 pixels down, then 30 pixels across and 0. Then how wide is this? 40 to 360, so 320 minus 30, 290 pixels across, 0, and then 290 pixels, 30 pixels, then 100%, 30 pixels, 100%, and how high is this? 40 to 260, so 220. 220 minus 30 is 190. 290 pixels, 190 pixels, 290 pixels, 100%. 30 pixels, 100%. 30 pixels, 190 pixels. 0, 190 pixels. That should get us all of those corners. Just like that. This isn't the prettiest thing ever, but hey, you know. That does look about right. Now then, could we have done these with percentages? 290 is a problem. Or is it? Yes, 290 is a problem because that's 320 across. Yeah. Anyway, we'll just take that and that off of there. Minify, unit replace. Still longer than our first solution, but there's 3 ways of doing it. And I think that's where we're going to leave it. So I'll load back up my best score, which will be just here. We could have used a third P. We could have done a couple of things differently. We could have rotated it instead of doing the other bit. We could have made the box shadow a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I think we're just going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.